Hi, my name is Lukas Weinrich, and today I will be going over Nintendo's influence on pop culture. The three goals I have in mind that I would like to cover is what and who is Nintendo, how Nintendo's influence helped save and revolutionize video games in America and across the world, and Nintendo's influence on pop culture. So let us begin. When we look at the history of Nintendo, most of us will know Nintendo as either the creators behind Super Mario Bros. Or one of the leading game publishers alongside Microsoft and Sony. But where did Nintendo come from? Where did it start? And what did it do before video games? Well, if we go back to September 23rd, 1889, in Kyoto, Japan, we are introduced to a craftsman named Fusajiro Yamauchi, the man who founded Nintendo. When Nintendo was originally founded, it was a business that produced Anafuda, or Japanese playing cards, even at one point back in 1959, making and manufacturing cards for Disney. However, in 1975, Nintendo got their feet wet and entered the gaming industry with their first manufactured arcade game called EVR Race. In 1983, video games in America experienced a large scale recession called the video game crash of 1983, or known in Japan as the Atari shock. Companies during this time rushed out games, stole from each other, and had to compete with personal computers, which led to a countrywide crash due to a lack of trust by consumers. The primary suspect behind this Atari shock was a game for the Atari called E.T., which was based off of the all time acclaimed movie directed by Steven Spielberg. December 1982, the game released to America, and it was met with a lot of dislike. The game at the time sold 4 million copies, and out of those 4 million copies, 3.5 million copies were returned, which led to Warner Brothers, who at time did own Atari, to announce a staggering 283.4 million loss for the second quarter, thanks to Atari, who had a loss of 310.5 million from operations and write-downs. Besides the loss in money, a lot of companies had to close down, smaller companies, or companies such as Atari, Warner Brothers, and even Activision, the company behind Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Overwatch, had to unfortunately let go some of their employees. But when it comes to the year of 1986, Nintendo does release the Nintendo Entertainment System with cautious optimism, as the console did include a lockout chip or an anti-privacy system that prevented unlicensed companies from making games for their consoles, such as Atari making a Mario game or even Activision making a Legend of Zelda game. Thanks to this lockout chip, a lot of consumers started to regain their trust in the gaming market and the console market specifically, leading to America coming back and regaining itself, which led to Nintendo saving America. Throughout history, we can see Nintendo's influence on pop culture from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, even if Nintendo wasn't the one behind making the movie. It is, as we know, a license of Nintendo to the Game Boy, which at that time revolutionized the handheld market and introduced to us Pokemon with the games Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow to the Wii and its motion controls, to being mentioned in movies or shows like Grandma's Boy or South Park. Now, in the present time, we can witness Nintendo's continued influence on pop culture with the Steam Deck, which was influenced by the Switch, similar to how with the Wii and its motion controls, Nintendo led the market, and thanks to that, Xbox and PlayStation attempted to recreate the success with the Xbox Connect and the PlayStation Move. If we take a look at the bottom right, we can see Super Nintendo World, which is a theme park connected to Universal Studios and is currently one of the fastest growing expansions of Universal. And we are now seeing a Donkey Kong Country added portion to the theme park alongside its current Mario theme. And then at the top right, we are able to look at a Nintendo museum, which is located in Uji, Japan. This would be the first company-owned museum. As we do know, we do have plenty of video game museums, but this will be Nintendo and Nintendo only, which means this museum, if you were able to get the chance to go visit it, will only come across Nintendo-owned products. And thanks to this, from movies, shows, video games, and even theme parks, we are still able to feel Nintendo's influence today through new and innovative ways. Conclusion. Nintendo was originally a card company before transitioning to video games. America was able to regain itself in the video game industry thanks to the Nintendo Entertainment System. And as stated before, Nintendo's influence is seen through movies, ads, shows, theme parks, and video games themselves. At the end of the day, without Nintendo, pop culture wouldn't be the way it is. Thank you.